Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Why don't I have a voice today? It feels like my voice is scratched.
I don't know.
Odd.
I can't find my cigarette paper. I just had it.
Roll cigarette.
I'm done.
You got papers.
I know. I'll need it for tomorrow.
It'll turn out.
Hope everybody's doing well.
And is healthy.
Health is always good.
Well, with the weather changing like this, it's screwing up everybody's like respiratory shit, and that people with COPD are like dying. Not literally. Not literally. I should say that out loud.
Found it.
I knew you would. The almighty standing up of the Sabian, and that's how we find lighters, bowls, vapes.
Morning, Lilith.
Hi, Lil.
How are thee? Happy Sunday.
Is it as humid there as it is here?
Lilith lives like an hour and 15 minutes from here, I'd imagine.
I know, sometimes actually the weather actually quite much differences in Massachusetts, depending on where you are. But don't quote me on it. I pulled the Fool card and the Devil card this morning.
It's gonna be one of those days.
Yesterday was death. But that was for class.
Good morning, Emily. How are you? Happy Sunday morning. Are you having issues?
I'm concentrating and my belly's doing its... My belly sounds like a churning volcano before it erupts. Seismic activity.
Woke up this morning and put on some cartoons. Felt like it was a good morning for cartoons. I've been watching Ninja Turtles and drinking coffee. It's a good way to start the day, I feel. It's the 2012 Ninja Turtles. It happens to be like my favorite iteration.
Yeah, it's the well, it runs a close second to the one we grew up with.
I don't like the one we grew up with anymore. I used to. Loved it. And go back and watch it now. And
it looks retarded.
It's so corny.
It is, but it's great. That's
so
like
bad.
That's the greatness of it. It's corny.
It's so bad.
I love it.
The old 80s,
Of course I do.
90s, or whatever Turtles show was.
I do like this one, though.
Was cringy as hell.
This one has Ice Cream Kitty. I like Ice Cream Kitty.
No, this series is my favorite Turtle series.
He puts them in the
It's
cooler.
got a good soundtrack. The actors in it are absolutely
Oh, yeah,
spot
they're
on.
great.
They made Shredder wicked dark. I mean, the show is...
It's
It
good.
can be
It's
very,
good.
very dark. And they pay homage to everything Turtles that has come before it. All the comic books, the old 90s show that Pockets and I grew up with, the other show that Sombra was talking to me about. That's they nod to that, and they pull in from all the other universes. And I think that season 1 into season 2, it mirrors the original 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, where Raphael gets hurt and then they all go to the farmhouse to escape New York, and Leonardo's watching over Raphael. But it's backwards. It's in the show, it's Leonardo that gets hurt, and then they drive out to April's country house, and Raphael's watching over Leonardo, and it's just stuff that's there that if you know it, you recognize it, but they change it here and there, so it's like it's new and interesting, and it's a really cool take on it. I don't know, I love this show. It's like you can tell the people that made this particular show absolutely loved everything Turtles. You can tell that they did. Yeah, no, I love the 2012 show. It's my favorite iteration. It's really good. I do like the original Turtles from like the 90s. That was what I grew up with. That's what kind of spawned all the video games and all the movies and shit like that. That's where the craze kind of came from. But to go back and watch it now, it's so bad. It's so hokey. I've tried to go back and watch a couple, and it's funny because in this series they end up opening in one of the episodes they open a dimensional portal, and they end up meeting the turtles from the 90s. So like the cartoon turtles that I grew up with end up being in this show, like interacting with these turtles, and it's a very, very apparent to see, like, because they keep the same personalities from the 90s and the same cringe factor, and to watch them interact with these, it's good fun. It's good fun that I suppose really only someone in my position might be able to appreciate. You kind of had to, like, grow up with the show to appreciate it, because there's no way you're going back now. Going back now and watching it is like going back and watching Masters of the Universe, which, again, was a great show. I loved He-Man growing up, man.
God, it was corny.
Growing up watching Masters of the Universe, I had all the toys and the action figures and the castles. I had all of it. I loved Masters of the Universe. And then I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. And we put it on Netflix, and oh my God, it's so bad. It's quite literally probably one of the cringiest things I've ever seen that ever aired on television, besides maybe the Star Wars Christmas special. I used to have a couple of the originals on VHS. I had like 2 or 3 episodes. I don't have them anymore, but I used to. I was big into Turtles when I was a kid. Like in the 90s, like when that show was out, like I was huge into Turtles. Like everything Turtles. Turtles games and Turtles shirts and all the Turtles action figures, and it was a thing. It was a fad. But I still like Turtles. I don't know. I guess it's a fad, a phase or whatever that I never kind of grew out of.
I didn't grow out of it. I mean, I don't think it's a phase. I think it's just something part of that we grew up with and we never let go because of the nostalgia of the whole thing.
I mean, even
That's
a few days ago, I was sitting Indian style in my game room on the rug playing
Atari.
NES.
And Atari.
I pulled out the old Ninja Turtles Nintendo game on the Nintendo and was playing through that with the Game Genie codes and shit like that. And it was fun. No, I have not seen the live-action Turtles TV show called The Next Mutation. I have not.
That actually sounds very interesting. I will look it up on PrimeWire, though. Thank you. Freaking Jasmine asked me if I want Jay to make pancakes. You guys want any?
Oh, yeah. Classic stuff. I always... Not always, but I'll jam on my Nintendo or my Super Nintendo from time to time. I very much do enjoy classic gaming and retro gaming. Don't Look Up. Yes, actually, I have seen it before. That's a movie I was talking about a month ago. I was trying to get everybody to watch that. It's one of those movies with social commentary built into the movie itself. Like that is the point of the movie, is social commentary. In fact, Don't Look Up, the title, plays right into that social commentary. And I was trying to get everybody, like my friends and stuff, to sit down and watch it, because being a movie based around social commentary, it's probably the best one of its kind, or among the best. That movie was absolutely incredible and said everything I've ever wanted to say about the human condition, but just said it all for me. So I could just like sit down and just like watch all that effort that I would have had to put in, just already put into a movie. Which is why I was just trying to get people to watch it. Like, hey, don't sit down and listen to me ramble on for 6 days about the human condition. Just watch this 1.5 hour long movie, and it says everything that I would like to say. But yes, Don't Look Up is a very, very good movie. Carries a pretty big message with it, which I do enjoy. Do enjoy it. Because we got talking about it because Emily Alucard Garland said, don't look it up. Sorry, I thought you said don't look up. I was wondering if you'd seen it before. So don't look it up, not good. I was just wondering if you'd seen it before. So don't look up the live action turtles is what she was saying. So that's how I got into Don't Look Up.
Okay.
But thank you for that, because my misreading of your comment reminded me about that movie, Don't Look Up.
Yuck.
Why did you take a sip of my black coffee?
It was a cup in front of me. I'm used to doing that.
It's a
Ugh.
It's a paper Stewart's cup. It looks nothing like your mason jar.
I was reading and I was grabbing. Okay, that's what I was doing. Okay.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry, Gamma, that you saw a messed up movie. But I mean, usually that's the goal for me.
Is she really a
But
grandma or is
they're
it like
Gamma?
Ray?
Gamma.
I know, but a lot of kids can't say gamma. I'm asking, is it like gamma ray or is it? I can't see.
I've seen a lot of times the point is to watch a movie that is really messed up. So if that was the goal,
We saw a movie.
good job. But there are movies that I've seen that are messed up to the point where, like, I really won't recommend them and I won't watch them again. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. Maybe you've discovered one of the movies that I have told people not to watch, that I will not label with a name, because if you name it,
I'm not even allowed to watch
everyone
this
just
stuff.
is like, oh, Sabian said not to watch this movie. I'm gonna watch this movie
And then your brain is
because
like,
now I know what it's
dissolved.
called. So I don't like giving out the titles of said movies that really should not be watched or will bother 99.9% of people on a very personal and traumatic level. Good morning, leader. How are you? Horror film from a European country? Yes, that is the film from a European country that I am talking about, Somber. And the only reason why I told you the name of the movie is because I know you won't watch it. Just look up Friday the 13th Part 6, Friday the 13th Part 9. What other good movies have I told you to watch? Laid to Rest. Laid to Rest Part 2. Let's see. There's a bunch. And I know, like the more I tell you to watch them, the less likely that you are. So I know telling you the name of a movie is probably the best way to get you to not watch it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to name them, that's up to you. But again, there's one movie in particular that I'm speaking of, and there are a couple other ones along it, but this one is like, it's at the cream of the crop. It's the top of the list movies that, like, I will not recommend anybody watch. Like, having people sit down and watch this movie, I feel, is a form of psychological warfare, and could be used as psychological warfare for sure. And that's why I won't name it. Don't recommend. Here's your brain games. I'm using your brain games. I mean, I'm sorry, Somber. It's the truth. If I name the movie, you won't watch it. Morning, ISB. How are you? Not a whole lot. We're talking about crazy movies and Ninja Turtles.
You're gonna have to dig. I can wait.
Exactly. Which is why I did not give out the title. The leader says, bro, you're just making me want to watch it more. Not gonna lie. Exactly. Which is why I don't name it. But the movie I'm talking about was It was banned in the United States, and then I think now you can get it in the United States, but you can't get the uncut version. The uncut version is still banned in the United States. The guy who made it, I don't think anything really happened to him, but the movie, the news that surrounded it is there was a film festival going on in Europe, and I don't know, especially after seeing the movie, I can't imagine this happening any other way. The guy who was lining up movies for the film festival must have just been a really lazy motherfucker, because he had to just be like throwing names on a fucking list without even knowing what the hell they were, because this movie, uncut, played at a film festival, and before the movie was halfway over, they turned off the movie, and the guy that put it on the list of movies to be played was arrested.
Yep.
And the movie was banned in the United States, and now the uncut version is still banned in the United States. You can get the cut version, and really the cut version is not going to be, like, you know, any better than the uncut version. Like, oh, I'm watching the cut version, it's safe. No, it's still really fucked up. But I did see, and I do have the uncut version, but yeah, not one that I will. No, I would not be willing to name the movie in DMs, Emily, because it gives you a way to watch the movie, and I'm not going to let you do that to yourself. I mean, if you do, Sabert, that's fine. And I will certainly notice a change when you come to Locust Lake on Labor Day weekend. You'll be complete. When I see you, I'll know. You'll know. You can tell. It's a movie where Doughboy told me not to watch it. And he said it's one of those movies where when you watch it, it's like your mental jaw drops to the floor.
Oh yeah, I'm not allowed to watch that.
And still it never comes back up. It just remains on the floor. And he's right, because I watched that movie and my mental jaw just fucking dropped. And yeah, never came back up. You can kind of tell when someone else has seen this movie, because there's just a slight change in how they carry themselves. Now I'll look up the film festival drama. I mean, even that, I don't know if you're going to have any luck finding the exact name of the movie or what it was. But if you do, again, you did it to yourself. Oh yeah, it might not be in English, but it's subtitled, so you'll have to read it. Mrs. Sociopathic just stepped away. I believe she went to charge her computer or head to the bathroom. I'm not sure which. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna find it by just looking up like film festival guy gets arrested. Oh wow, maybe it was literally the first thing that popped up. I'm looking it up now, but I think no. This guy got arrested at a film festival for something way worse. Okay, yeah. Alright, can't find it anywhere, just by punching in some random related stuff about what I've said, so we're good. Oh, me? Yeah, I'm fine. I am waking up. I am having my morning regiment of Zyrtec, caffeine, and THC. Remember, it makes you cough. I mean, really, you'd think. Okay, well, I'll take one more hit and then back a bowl. Take your time. I'm not in a rush. So, but yeah, This was definitely not something I was planning on discussing today. It's funny how Blood and Beans always ends up like that. Like,
it's a stream about nothing. It's like freaking Seinfeld. You talk about anything.
And there are other couple movies like I would not recommend watching. Like another one, like
She's acting like a cat.
I know, but she's yelling in my ear.
She's yelling at me. Hi, I see you.
Like another movie that is really messed up and I would not recommend people watch. But it's famous enough where people are going to be able to find it. They know exactly where it is, and a lot of people might have already seen it. But those people that have seen it will kind of understand. So this is a movie that I think is, not watchable. It's not a movie that I would recommend. It's a movie I've seen. It's not a movie I'm interested in watching again. I've seen it once. It was enough for me. Mental jaw dropped a bit. Came back up at the end. Like, I'm good now. It didn't affect me. It's not as bad as the one I won't name. But like Human Centipede 2. Not the first one, which I love and I will defend with my life. Probably one of the best movies of all time. The first one was done beautifully. It was done tactfully. They didn't show anything. There was hardly any gore or anything gross. Everything was completely implied, and it was terrifying. It was a really, really good movie, and it made you really uncomfortable to watch it, even though there was nothing really being shown. It still made you uncomfortable, and it was great. I loved how they did that in the first Human Centipede. The third one was ridiculous. They were just trying to go way out, and 500-person centipede. The first one, the third one was a comedy. The second one, though, was... They tried to make it as gross and horrible and deplorable as they possibly could. I mean, that's literally what the director said. All the stuff that wasn't in the first one, where they didn't show anything, it was all implied. This one, they're going to show everything. They're going to show it all and more, and they're going to show it. They're going to show way beyond what they didn't show in the first one. And it wasn't as tactfully done, obviously. Wasn't as classy, and it really didn't like the statement of the movie overall, but it was a shock movie. Wasn't really horror. It was just meant to gross you out and make you feel really, really uncomfortable, and I'm not good with that. Like, the first one was different. It was horror for the
right reasons.
Shocking in the right way, horror. The second one was shocking in all the wrong way, horror. And the third one was just comedy. It was so overboard, and it knew that it became a parody of itself. So I could get on board with that if it's making fun of itself. The first one didn't do that. The second one just tried to go way beyond the first one and show all the things they didn't show in the first one. But that's part of what made the first one so goddamn good. But anybody who's seen the second Human Centipede movie, I've never met anyone that has seen it. I know a lot of people that have seen it that have said that movie was great. That was way better than the first one. That's my favorite Human Centipede movie. I've never met anybody that's even wanted to watch it again. I've met a lot of people that have started watching it and turned it off. But it's not a movie that a lot of people will go out and watch again because of how it makes them feel. It's kind of hard to describe. And in that way, the director, the guy who created it, like, he did a really good job. He created a movie so horrific that people are grossed out by the movie itself. They don't even want to watch it anymore, to even show to other people, because it just feels dirty. That's good. If that's what you're going for, well done. So kind of like that. Alright, so... No, I'm not talking about Human Centipede 2. Everybody knows about the Human Centipede movies.
Like all three.
There's no reason to hide that name. I loved the first one. I liked
the first one was awesome.
I liked the third one. I'm not a fan of the second one. I'm not. Like, I'm glad I watched it once, but like, I'm good at watching just straight up 2 hours of fucking torture porn. Like, I'm good. I'd like some story and stuff in there, like, and make me feel uncomfortable through symbolism. Show enough, sure, but you don't have to be like, all right, man, let's really gross people out. And there's certain words, 4-letter words that begin with R, end with E. There's a P somewhere in there that I don't like to say on YouTube. I really don't even like to say it out loud, period, in real life.
They should all be castrated.
But again, the first Human Centipede movie did not have that in it. The third one did. It was a prison movie, though, so, I mean, gonna happen. The second one did. The first one didn't. And again, if that's in a movie, it's gotta have a fucking purpose. It has to have a reason for it. It's gotta play into the story somehow. I can't stand when people put that kind of content into a movie and it has nothing to do with the story. Where literally you could take that scene out of the movie and everything else would still play out the same. You don't need that in there. You just threw it in there for shock content and to make people feel uncomfortable. Well, that 4-letter word doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel rage. It makes me see red. It makes me get very angry. And I don't like that shit in my entertainment. It was just as nasty. It was a little bit better. Yeah, it was nasty. I agree. Art itself was messed up. Sandpaper. Yep. Sandpaper. Yep. Again, it was like everything they could throw in that movie. They just threw it in. I'm not gonna find it without knowing the name. Times people to it. I found it. I got it. This movie went wrong. I want to recommend this movie to anyone. You mean you kind of wouldn't want to recommend that movie to anyone either? You forgot the wouldn't in there, Emily. So, again, I'm not going to go ahead and say it by name. Everybody here in the chat will probably be able to figure it out now. But anybody who comes back and listens later, and maybe doesn't have access to the live chat or isn't watching the live chat after, the stream ends and they come back to listen, they won't know what the movie is. But I will say this, the movie that I have been talking about has been mentioned in the chat. And yes, I have seen Tusk and I have seen Martyr. Tusk was okay. It was good. It was better than I thought. I think it could have been a little better. They could have done without the comedy, and they could have got some unrecognizable actors, I think, for it. Would have went a really long way for that movie. There was too much familiarity and too much relief. Every time you felt uncomfortable, there was something humorous, and it kind of you felt at ease again. And Kevin Smith's kind of known for that. And Martyr, depends. And I've seen them both. Now, there's an original one that I believe is in French, and you have to read it. And then there's the new American one, which is in English. And I've seen both of them. Which one do you like better? There's 2 Martyr movies. There's the original, and then there's like a remake that came out like 3 or 4 years later. It's not the original dubbed in English. It's a completely remade movie. But it's the same movie as the original Martyrs, but it's just in English. I've seen them, yeah. I've seen Tusk and Martyr. But like Martyr, I liked Tusk. I fucking loved Martyr, but only one of them. One of them was good, like Tusk level. One of them was fucking fantastic. Oh, watch the French version. Watch the one that you have that's subtitled in English, the one you have to read. It's way better. It's a way of making you feel more uncomfortable, I feel. And probably because of it being in French, that being in a different language. And yeah, I understand some French, but like I'm not fluent or anything. But like, that's why Eli Roth in Hostel, there's that scene where the main character, they're like, he gets brought into the room and they tie him down, and the two people behind him are talking. I believe it's in Dutch or German or something like that. Yeah. And the rest of the movie, if you guys notice in Hostel, when people are talking in a different language in that movie, it's subtitled. And you can read it at the bottom of the screen. In that movie, in Hostel, in that scene, when they're talking behind him, when he's tied to the chair, there is no subtitle. And that's deliberate. It's a very little thing that most people don't notice. But in that scene, when they're tied him to the chair and they're talking behind him about what they're going to do, it's not subtitled. And the reason why Eli Roth did that was to make the viewer feel unfamiliar, to feel no familiarity, to feel off kilter, to not understand what's going on, to create that sense of disequilibrium. And I think that's what...
First for the morning, good job.
That's what the French version of Martyrs does. Is it very easily creates... I mean, even the English version it does, because it doesn't tell you what's going on until the end of the movie. So the whole movie in itself kind of creates that same sense of not knowing, that sense of disequilibrium. But the French version, I just feel, just pulls it off that much better. Even though it's subtitled and you can read and stuff like that, it's just... everything about it feels foreign.
Some of the Eli Roth's new stuff that's come out is
not good.
Not been really on point as
no, it's not. In fact, I was really looking forward to Green Inferno. It
was okay, but
I wasn't fond of the Green. I can get into the reasons why in a moment, but first I'm going to get into why I was looking forward to it so much. I don't know if you guys know about this movie. It was also banned for about 30 years. It's called Cannibal Holocaust.
I actually like that movie.
It's a 1970s movie, and it does have that 4-letter word that I don't like in it.
Yeah.
But it's part of the fucking story.
Yes, it has purpose.
It's literally part of the purpose of the fucking story. That movie is fantastic. It's not even a horror movie. I actually at first, when I first started watching it, I was expecting a horror movie because it was banned and it was made by a horror director, and it's called Cannibal Holocaust, and it was a fucking documentary. Like, the whole thing is just a documentary.
And it's a mock documentary?
Yes, it's a mockumentary. And the events of the mockumentary, basically at the end of the movie, it's a social commentary thing about who the real primitives are and who the real primitives aren't. But it's fantastic, and it's really good. And when Eli Roth's favorite movie is Cannibal Holocaust. Anytime you ever see Eli Roth on TV, directing on set, anytime he's out in a picture in a magazine, he is wearing a Cannibal Holocaust t-shirt. Always. It is his absolute favorite fucking movie. And he has wanted to do a remake of Cannibal Holocaust for fucking ever. And the place that this movie Cannibal Holocaust takes place in is in the Amazon in South America, in a little region of the Amazon known as the Green Inferno. So when Eli Roth finally was making this movie, and then it got canceled because he couldn't get funding for it, and then he had to go and get funding someplace else, and then it was going to be released and it was coming out and all this. Man, I was so fucking excited. I couldn't wait to watch this fucking movie. And then I watched it, and I've got nothing now. I got nothing. I'm gonna stay away because I feel like I could rant about this disappointment probably for the next 25 minutes alone. Yeah, it's one of those movies that was also, it was banned, and the director, the guy that made it, was actually arrested. He was released on all charges. They didn't. The reason why he was arrested, though, and you should know this beforehand, is that when they're killing animals in the movie, it's a documentary type movie. When they're killing animals in the movie, they're actually killing real animals. It's not fake. And I mean, they'll show stuff like the Amazon will take a monkey and like chop the top of its head off, and like you see the brain and shit, and the monkey just like dies, and that's a real monkey that they did that to. So like, there are disturbing things in it, but like they're hunting. It's not like they're doing this stuff to torture the monkey. Like they're hunting. So like, it's like watching a documentary. So if you're grossed out or bothered by documentaries that might show these kinds of things, then don't watch it. But and remember, it's made in the 70s too, so it's not like high definition and stuff like that. And it's long. It's like 2.5 hours long. But I recommend watching it, like, if you're interested. It's a really good movie. And it's not a horror movie like you might think it is. The Green Inferno, yes, was an absolute fucking nothing burger. It was... like, I don't... Okay, so there's a guy who... How did they get high? I think the guy had a bag of weed on him when they roasted him or whatever, and then they ate some of the weed, or they smoked weed. I can't. The cannibals ended up consuming weed, so then like they got so high, they got the munchies and pulled one of the people out of the cages and decided to eat them alive, while they're like, that's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I get it. It's a movie, and that could be horrible, but that. The original, the Cannibal Holocaust was a documentary. It was a documentary. It was believable that it was 100% real. The Green Inferno was a joke. It was a joke. Oh, hey, Outcast, how are you? Yeah, walked in on killing animals. We're talking about Cannibal Holocaust. Good movie. I actually have the poster up in the game room, and I display it proudly. I love that movie. It's a good movie. Not because of the killing animals part, but because of the social commentary. Which also is what made me, the first time I considered, would I ever try human? Again, you walk into the jungle, you're exploring, there's a cannibal tribe, they've already killed Joe. They killed some guy named Joe from another tribe, and they're cooking him. He's already cooked. You go to meet these people, and they're being nice and friendly, and this is just what they do. This is normal to them, like eating a burger. And you walk in, and they're being friendly, and they offer you some Joe. Are you going to try Joe? I would try Joe. I would be curious, at the very least. Hell, if Joe was already cooked, they wouldn't even have to offer. I might just ask to try him. Cannibal Holocaust? Yes. Cannibal Holocaust is definitely a movie that I would rewatch. 100%. Green Inferno, I have rewatched it. That's a movie I'll rewatch too. Like, it was good as the movie is. Like, it was a decent movie. It wasn't as good as like the first Hostel or anything. About as good as Hostel 3, maybe. But Cannibal Holocaust is a great movie. It's a masterpiece in horror cinema. You know what the funny thing is? My middle name is Joe. Maybe that's why I chose it, is because I'm not offended. My middle name is Joseph. Oh my God, you learned something new about sociopathic Joseph. I'm just like, why let Joe go to waste, right? Like, Joe's already dead. He's already cooked. He's already food. So, like, why let him just go to waste? Try a piece of Joe. You're never going to get a chance to try human again. Might as well, indulge with some Joe. I do not want to become a Slappy Joe. I would like to try human. But not, I don't want to kill anybody. That'd be weird. Like, no. That's and disturbed. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm just curious. Like, there's these people that created a veggie burger in Europe for some kind of like food event. And it's supposed to taste like people. A, I'd like to know how they know this. But whatever. B, I would have liked to try this veggie burger that's supposed to taste like human meat. But that, I can't find it. It was only, they only sold it for that one event. I was actually going to order it and have it shipped overseas so I could try some human flavored veggie burgers, but they only made it for that one thing. They don't like mass produce it. Yes, even if you think it's gross, don't upset the cannibals. I mean, that, of course. In that situation, if you're offered Joe, I would recommend trying him anyway, whether you want to or not, because you don't want to become the next Joe. So you might want to just go ahead and just try him. But, like, I don't know. I'd give it a go. Yeah, I mean, even if they offered someone that's like, yeah, you can eat me, I'd first probably try and get them mental help. I wouldn't, like, take them up on their offer. Like, maybe you should see a psychiatrist. Buffalo for texture, bone marrow for slimy grit, venison, beef, and pork. I think you could probably take the beef out. I would add the venison a little bit for the gamey flavor, but have it be mostly pork. I imagine people taste a lot like pigs. That's why some of our parts, like heart valves, are interchangeable. Our meat is already similar anyway. But yeah, I imagine we probably taste a little bit gamier. Buffalo is a little bit leaner, so it should be a little bit stringier. And yeah, bone marrow, because, well, at least Americans are probably very fatty. Probably for, yeah, that slimy grit. I'm going to give that a try. I'm going to minus the beef, but that's probably a really good start, Somber, to tell you the truth. Right there. I'm going to give that a try. Buffalo, venison, and pork. A little bit of buffalo for stringiness, pork for flavor, and venison for that game flavor. The only thing is, what kind of marrow? I really would like to do pork marrow, if it's possible. Very small amount of beef for greasy bit. Okay. Alright. So Somber's actually looked this up. So, okay. Alright, cool. I'm going to do this. I can't buy it, and I'm not killing anybody. So, I'm just going to have to make this myself. Other than hacking off my own leg. I'm going to eat pork the same way. But yeah, from what I understand, people say that I've heard that humans taste like pork. Very, very much taste like pigs. And that combination, I just didn't really think the beef for the flavor, especially since there's already bison in it. But the bison makes sense because it's lean and stringy. Dude, that'd be great. That's a good idea. Oh my god, Lilith, that's a fantastic idea. I'll make like a couple here, like this month, and if it works out, I'll get the stuff to make a bunch of them while we're at camp, and we'll have people burgers. Yes. In fact, yes. That's very true, Leader. We are called Long Pig, which is why we're called that, is because we taste like pork, and only we're longer. We're taller and lankier. Long Pig. Yeah, believe so. Oink, oink. Drink mix off and people burgers. Fuck yeah, man. This is going to be a great Labor Day weekend. I'll tell you that. I'm going to say this, too. I'm a 1099 employee, so the plan is that week I get paid. I'm going to not put away for taxes that 1 week. So I'll have some extra money. Newfound footage cannibal camp. I can't think of anything, Emily. Seems the most American thing to do at Locust Lake for sure. So yeah, this will be fun. This will be fun. We're gonna have long pig burgers at Locust Lake. Oh, it's gonna be a spoopy weekend. I'm excited. Based indeed. To think, I thought I didn't have anything to talk about except for the book that I read this week. I actually started reading another one, but I can't even remember what it was. It was The House at the End of the World by Bachman. Was it? I can't remember who it's by. Might have been Bachman. It sucked. I only got I got like 3/4 of the way through it. I tried to muscle through. I'm like, man, it's got to start getting good at some point. And I'm looking at the time on the audiobook, and I'm like, shit, man, I'm already 8 hours in out of an 11-hour book, and I just stopped. I couldn't take it anymore. It was not good. And I also read Dawn of the Dead this week, which I don't get. If you like the movie, you'll like the book. But, the book is just a 7-hour version of the movie. It's the same thing. It doesn't add anything to the movie at all. It's just the movie with description. That's all it is. Like the girl that was pregnant in the movie when they took off in the helicopter and the cop the sniper guy, the big guy that was with her and that survived, and they went up in the helicopter at the end. Like, where did they go? Did she survive? Did she ever have her baby? Don't know, because the book doesn't fucking explain it either. And the ending's exactly the same. Everything's the fucking same. The only thing it might do is explain that really frantic intro a little bit better. Where the movie, it opens up in a news station, and then they cut to the apartment building with the military, running in, and all the people are getting shot inside. Like, it explains that a little bit better. Like, now when I watch the movie, the beginning of it, I understand the beginning, what's going on a little bit better. But beyond that, it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. And it pissed me off because I spent an entire day, 7.5 hours, listening to this audiobook, and it added nothing. I listened to Bram Stoker's Dracula in the past. That book was great. Took 7 chapters to almost an entire night, 8 hours for the book to start getting good. I almost turned it off. That book was boring as fuck for the first quarter of it. Then it got really good, and all that boring shit was all set up that explained all the shit that was in the movie that never got explained in the fucking movie. That book was fucking fantastic. What's another really good movie book? The Exorcist. Oh my god. That's probably my favorite movie that was a book first or whatever, of that caliber. The Exorcist is a fucking fantastic book. Makes the movie look like fucking dog shit. The Exorcist is amazing. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein kind of sucked. Not gonna lie. Dawn of the Dead added nothing. Oh, it's the original. The Dawn of the Dead book, based on the original, was written by George A. Romero and somebody else. It's based on the original movie. The novel. It's the novelization of the movie. Literally, it's the novelization of the fucking movie. It adds nothing. So, that was the one topic I walked in with today. Like, I was going to talk about the books, that I was reading this week. The Exorcist book, goes way more in depth. Way more in depth. You think the movie's fucked up? The book is whoa. The book is way more descriptive and adds things to things and goes into details about things that like weren't in the movie at all. Don't get me wrong, it's the narration's like 15 hours. It's a long book, but it's good. It's real good. I loved it, and it doesn't take a long time to get into it. Like, Bram Stoker's Dracula is freaking amazing. That's a great book. It's a fantastic book. But boy, you gotta be committed. You have to commit to that book, because if you're reading it and you're like, okay, it'll get good after a while. Nope. No, it gets good after a long while. Long before that, it is just, it's very boring. But you have to commit. And if you can, it adds. You'll never watch Bram Stoker's Dracula, the movie. You'll never watch it the same again. Ever. The book is way better and goes way more in depth and in detail about all the stuff that's going on, about the boxes of dirt and about Dracula's backstory. It's way better. Oh yeah. Hell, the H.P. Lovecraft Necronomicon was that's a 22-hour narration.
Yes.
I've read that. I've listened to that audiobook twice.
Jason made them. I'll get you a fork there, and they have syrup on them. I couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah. No. I do. Don't get me wrong. I love the Frankenstein monster, and I liked the movies that I've seen.
I was going to say, remember, he's the monster. He's not Frankenstein himself.
But
everybody fucks that up.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
I like that movie.
The book is fucking horrible.
I like the movie.
We're not talking about movies.
I know. I'm talking about the movie adaptation. I'm saying I like that.
I know. So do I.
When you said it was a book, I actually started listening to it, and I didn't like it.
Underwhelming movie by M. Night. I think that explains every movie by M. Night.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's like every movie.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't like that guy. I really don't. and he's like my nemesis. I'm anti M. Night Shyamalan. Not only do I don't like him, and I think his work is crap, and he's a freaking hack, but I also think that he is hurting the genre. I think that he is literally helping to kill horror.
So you don't like him, huh?
People think, he had one movie that had a huge following. It got a lot of media attention, The Sixth Sense, and you had to be a freaking moron not to see the end coming in that.
Okay, I'm a moron because at first I didn't.
Okay, well, I don't know how you didn't see that because that was, again, anyways, ending was pretty easy to see. I thought it was pretty easy to see, and I didn't think the movie was all that great because it was entirely built on a twist ending that you could see coming from a mile away. So the end of the movie added nothing to it, but everyone seemed to like it and regard him. So like The Village. Come on, like, there's a monster in the woods, so the people in this village can't leave, and you come to find out that the monster's actually people that are part of the town that won't let the people leave, because the outside world actually exists, and it's not taking place in, like, a long time ago, but it takes place now, today, inside of a state park, where no one knows that this village exists, and the outside world doesn't know that they're there, and they don't know the outside. That's the twist in the movie. Signs. Alright, I know the twist was he said the twist was they were demons. There were demons in that movie, and because the girl was innocent, all the water was holy water, and that's why it hurt the demons. But when I watched Signs, I saw fucking aliens.
Afraid of water.
that were hurt by water. And if that was your hidden meaning, is that they were demons and it was holy water, like, sorry. You had to, like, read an actual synopsis review of the movie and a discussion with the director to get that point. Because the movie was about aliens and big ships coming to Earth in crop circles, and they started splashing water by accident on the aliens at the end, and then they all left. Which left me to wonder why the aliens would come to this planet anyway. And even if they were demons, if just because a child took a sip out of water, it would hurt. So what happens if a child takes a sip out of a lake?
She was a special child.
No, it's because she was innocent. If a child takes a sip out of a lake, then is that lake automatically holy?
It depends on who else gets
It's
in
literally
afterward.
the equivalent of me saying, I'm going to go take over this lava planet. I sure hope that these aliens don't find out that lava is my one and only weakness. The entire planet's covered in fucking water. What? Can't. I'm done. I don't like him. And then people think these movies are great. Like, oh, M. Night Shyamalan. Ooh, what a twist. These twists make the movies worse, not better. And then when a really good movie comes out, like, you know, Terrifier 2, and people go watch this movie in theaters thinking they're going to watch a horror movie because, you know, M. Night Shyamalan makes horror and I like horror, and then those people end up vomiting, passing out, and being rushed out by ambulance, which is actually something that happened. And it just feels like this asshole is watering down the genre. He's diluting it. I'm taking a bite of this pancake because I have been talking. I should put something in my mouth to shut up for 5 seconds.
Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I went. Jasmine texted me. He was like, "We're having pancakes. Do you want to come over for pancakes?"
I'm glad.
Sure.
Oh, well, at least I'm making an impression on your workplace. I'm not a fan of Shyamalan. Like, in fact, I dislike him more than just about anybody else. He's about as at the bottom of my list as you can fucking get. I don't like him at all. He shouldn't just stop making movies. Somebody should go back in time and erase everything that he's done. In fact, erase him completely. Just delete him out of existence. The world will be better. I do say, I don't like him. Well, cool. This became blood, beans, and breakfast, apparently. And eggs and bacon rocks.
Oh.
Good choice.
Brunch for us.
No, he's the antithesis to what horror should be. He dilutes the genre. He creates horror fans that don't really look like horror fans. It's like someone saying they like horror because they like Twilight. Twilight's not horror. It's not horror.
I heard breakfast.
Interview with the Vampires, a great movie, and that movie borderlines horror. It's horror, but not. It's more of a drama. It's a vampire drama, but it's still horror, and it's good. I like Interview with the Vampire. One of my favorite movies. It's a really good movie. But someone who's like, yeah, I like horror. I like Twilight. Twilight's not horror.
No, it's not.
And
It's sparkly fucking
to
vampires.
create horror
They don't
fans
sparkle.
with M. Night Shyamalan expectations, it almost feels like it should be a different genre. Like, it shouldn't be horror. M. Night Shyamalan's movies should be in, like, some kind of, like, separate genre. Like, drama, comedy, hack movies, horror, science fiction. Like, he should be in the hack movies section. Thank you. That's actually a really good way of putting it. That's blasphemous saying that Twilight is horror. Exactly. I agree 100%. This is how I feel. It's like when I go to the store on Halloween, and my family's with me. They've seen it happen. It happens at least once every year. Usually happens more than once. Someone takes a look at me and says, "Oh, wow, you look so festive for the season." Because I'm wearing my Jason shirt and my Jason necklace and my Friday the 13th hat. And they're like, "You look so festive." And I look at him and I say, "No. This is my everyday clothes. This is how I look on any given Tuesday. It's just this is the only time of year where I seem to fit in." Or when I go to the store and I'm looking around at all this stuff and the person comes up to me and Shiloh, same thing. Oh, they commented because Shiloh had a hoodie that was orange with black cats on it. She's like, "Oh, you guys look so festive." And I'm like, "This is actually just our normal clothes, but thanks." And she's like, "Oh, you should come over here and check out these." And she's pointing at the hockey masks. She's like, "We got lots of Freddy masks over here." And I don't normally hit people. And I didn't hit this lady. I didn't.
He wanted to.
Oh, I wanted to. I wanted to. What? That's not Freddy. These are not Halloween clothes. And horror to me isn't a passing holiday trend. It's a fucking lifestyle. It's part of who I am. And that's a very great way of saying it, Emily. Shyamalan fans are kind of like a 24-hour fans. They go out of their way to not act like horror fans and scoff at actual horror while indulging in this watered-down, fart-sniffing garbo. That's 100% correct. And I agree, they don't sparkle, vampires fucking burn.
That's what I said.
Somber's always it's a thing on my Discord. It's been talked about once or twice. I'm not a Shamadouche fan. See, I almost messed up and called him by his little pet name that I have for him. I'm not a Shyamalan fan at all. I rant about him frequently. That is why somebody mentioned him, and I've spent the rest of this stream talking about it. Don't worry, Somber. I still have it. I can DM it to you if you'd like. I'm actually wearing a Michael Myers t-shirt right now.
That is what I got him.
It's Michael Myers holding a knife in one hand and flipping the bird with his other hand.
I think I got you that for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of his Jason shirts, his Tim Burton Nightmare
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Almost all of his jewelry that he's got: Jason, Full Metal Alchemist, little big blue heart from Zelda,
Old
Shark's Tooth.
was another one, man.
I did all his bling.
It was interesting, then it wasn't interesting, then it was interesting. It had its moments, and then there was the twist at the end.
The twist.
And it was so stupid. Stupid. Unreal. But, so that's been the life in the day of Socio. There is a new Locust Lake coming out this coming Saturday. The premiere page is already up this time. Not waiting till the end of the week to get it up. So if you guys want to check it out, click the notification bell so when it goes up on Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you don't miss it. It is going to be, it's 55 minutes long, so bring food. Maybe, hit up the restroom before it starts. It's going to be a long a long story. And this one does take place post basically everything except for the Locust Lake and space stories. So this is a brand new Locust Lake story in the timeline. And it's got like 14 voice actors, and I know I'm going to miss a few, but I'll try and name some off by the top of my head. I know that Lilith Gala is going to be in it, Somber Puppet's going to be in it, Mary P is going to be in it, Josie Kitty is in it, PA Nightmares, Spooky Boo, Midnight Bard, Lady Spookaria,
Bless you.
oh boy, Frank the Tank is in it, Cell's in it. Furberries is in it. AK Phoenix is in it. I'm gonna stop there. I know that I'm missing a bunch still. I did put up the trailer for it last night, and in the trailer I listed all the voice actors that are going to be in it, and it is quite the list. So, oh no, you're fine, Evil. Don't apologize. Everybody, life happens, man. Totally get it. So, yes, bring cannibal burgers always. Yep, Midnight Bard is in it. Yeah, there's Dodge the Grave. I think I said Spooky Boo, but Spooky Boo is in it. A lot of people in this one. I think the video I had with the most people in it before was like 8 or 10, might have been 12. This one is, I'm pretty sure, the biggest cast I've ever had in a story, and I still end up playing like 5 different people. So the cast still could have been even bigger still. Yup, it is quite the cast. I can actually just pull it up right now and tell you. I have the page right here. I'm sitting here chewing on pancakes, talking into a microphone. Can't tell I've gotten comfortable doing Blood and Beans. Alright, so thank you to this all-star mega cast. Mary, Josie Kitty, PA Nightmares, AK Phoenix, Ethan Blades, Vivian Dark Angel, Somber Puppet, Furberries, Reaper's Horror, Frank the Tank, Dodge the Grave, Spooky Boo, Sean A, Midnight Bard, Lady Spookaria, and Cell. Yes. And I thank Lilith for getting me Blades' lines. Just kind of a joint effort there. There is a lot, for sure. Alright. Now put these pancakes aside until I'm done with this stream.
Are they good?
Mm-hmm. Lots of very large blueberries. It's hard to put it away.
You put fresh blueberries in it. In them.
I know. I can tell. I've been eating them.
Here comes Shiloh.
You can't talk about
It's very true. If you don't,
food.
who will?
I'm
Some people
stealing
just
a
are very
bite
hard
of
to
pancake.
contact nowadays.
Pancake theft.
You can have the rest if you want.
Okay, bye, chat. I'm gonna go walk
Don't eat
away.
that on your desk.
Why?
She's fine. Let her eat at her desk.
Oh, it's lactose.
Oh my god, that's a story I have to tell. This is something that happened yesterday. So, we went to a big fireworks thing on the river.
On Friday.
On Friday, yep. My parents were there. They came down for the fireworks display, and my father had built Shiloh a desk. She wanted a desk for her room. Her sister was going to buy her one, and I said, well, wait. Well, actually, Pockets did. And she asked my father if he would build her a desk. So that way she has a desk made by Grandpa. So my dad has been making this desk for the past couple of months. He just got it all stained and everything. And it looks really nice. It's heavy. It's solid. It's made out of like 2x4s. I had to go to the store, and I came back. He was already gone, but Pockets helped him lift the desk in on yesterday, and bring it into the house. I had to pick it up by myself, basically shoulder level to get it up over the cabinets and stuff, and bring it into the hallway. And then when I got it into the hallway, I went to bring it into Shiloh's room. It's too big for her door. It fit into the front door, but it would not fit into her door, into her room. Would not. It's not. There was no way to turn it or anything. It would not fit. It was too big. So I'm like, how am I going to get this desk in her room? What am I going to do? Knock down the wall? I mean, there's nothing else I can do. And now I have this big piece of furniture. I can't just leave it in my living room. I could swap out my little desk for that, but I have all my paperwork and stuff in this desk, and that desk doesn't have drawers. So, like, it's just causing an issue. And I look over it, and Shiloh has one of the only rooms in the house that has a big window. Now, granted, outside, the window's about 6 feet off the ground, and I have nobody else to help me. But it's the only thing I got. So I took both of the large panes out of the window, so just made a real big hole in her wall. And I had to pick the desk, bring it out the hallway, pick it back up over the cabinets, bring it out through the living room, out the front door of the house, down the steps, into the backyard, and then the window's 6 feet off the ground and blocked by a huge thorn bush. So I had to lift the desk up over my head. First time I did, the desk was so heavy, it actually toppled me to the ground, and I fell with the desk right over. Wham! I'm actually lucky the desk didn't land on me. I probably would have broke something. So I picked the thing up again. Once I got back up, I'm laughing because Shiloh's watching me, and I don't want her to, be like, oh my God, my dad's dead, or whatever. Shiloh worries. She panics over me. So laid it off, got back up, used my legs and my whatnot, and my arms, whatever, and the leverage to get the desk flipped up, and then lifted it up over my head, and got half of it into the window, just barely, and then back inside in her room, dragged it in, put the panes of glass back in her window. So now Shiloh has a desk in her room. It was quite the challenge to get it in there, but Shiloh now has a desk. A big wooden desk. And she has her own little swivel rolling office chair, too. So. Oh, good morning, Devane. How are you? So, had to relay that real quick. I was going to get going, but I do have to give you guys a warning first. That's not fair. So, we'll say like 3.5 minutes. It's gone for like an hour and 16 minutes.
Jesus, you babbled with that long? I didn't even know I was over at Jasmine's for that long.
Yeah, it is some desk. It was built by my father.
It was freaking heavy as hell. I had to freaking carry it, pick it up backwards into the house. Dad
wanted to get her something that is going to last. He wanted to make her something that's going to last.
It's going to last, all right.
And I love that he did. And it worked out really well. It looks really nice in her room, too.
My dad would have taken measurements. Just saying. My dad would have came here like with his tape measure and like measured her door jamb and that, so he would know like, okay, it's got to be this big to get it through the door.
Well,
but the window idea, I will say, he's probably looking down from heaven and going, good idea. Just like using your mirrors. Good idea.
I mean, there was no other way to do it. Where else am I going to put the desk?
Can you roll these for me? I'm growing my nails out. It sucks because now I get the tobacco on.
Oh, enjoy, nails. Somber. It's raining here. Thanks for sending the clouds my way, but it's without the wind.
He needs the rain.
So.
Rain makes corn, and corn makes whiskey.
Somber has enough corn.
Does he have enough whiskey?
I would imagine so. He has all the corn.
Not yet. It's growing.
Strong enough to lift a long-lasting desk. Leverage. I put the edge of it on my feet and then curl it up onto my knees and then
bit of a pep talk to get it back inside the window.
Use my knees to, push it up with my arms and get the leverage and then straighten up my back to just lift it up a couple more inches. You had to use your whole body. It wasn't like just straight up like, I'm going to grab this desk with my arms and just roar over my head. Like, No, there was some finagling to do it. And I just went back to work construction like a month ago, so it's a good thing. Because sitting in an office desk chair and eating pizza all day, me, would not been able to lift up that desk and get it in that window. There's no fucking way. Not a problem. Actually, Summer has all the corn that you do. We didn't do Blood and Beans last weekend, and the weekend before I was at camp. So we actually haven't done Blood and Beans in 2 weeks either. So it's the first one back in like 2 weeks. When I am done with Blood and Beans, I am going to get some editing done that I have to finish up today, and some uploading. And then I am going to... shower's going to be involved. But then I'm going to try and play some Metroid Dread. I was laying in bed last night playing my 3DS before I went to sleep. And I was playing Samus Returns. And I was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to play tomorrow. Because I was playing Metroid. I got Metroid Dread, and I played some of it, and then I stopped because I got stuck. And I really liked the game. I just could not figure out where the fuck to go next. So I'm going to look up a strategy guide, and I'm going to start playing some Metroid Dread with the strategy guide. It was fun chatting with you as well, Leader, for sure. It's nice seeing all of you. Every one of you that has stopped in today just to talk with me. It's very much appreciated. I am going to go ahead and close out the stream. Let everybody kind of get to their days. I kind of have a day I've got to get to as well. Still had the patience for Metroid after getting trounced for 3 hours. I did, actually. After I was done playing Mario Kart, I played some Mega Man, and then I was going to come out here and play on the computer. Pockets was already in the bedroom, so I just closed down out here, and I went in the bedroom and sat down and played some new Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS, because I haven't played that in forever. And I was like, I want to play some Samus Returns. I haven't played that in a while. I only played through it once, and I loved that game. So I popped that in and played a little bit of the beginning of it, and I'm like, you know what? That's what I'm going to fucking play tomorrow. I'm going to play, because I forgot that I had it. I have so many games in the game room, I literally forgot that I have Metroid Dread. So I was like, oh shit, that's what I'm going to play. I'm going to play Metroid Dread. So that's the idea. Yeah, I'm single-player games, Somber. Single-player games. The computer doesn't beat my ass like you do. Son of a bitch. Alright. I fucking love you people. Seriously, I do. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. And again, I do hope that you are able to make it this weekend for the brand new Locust Lake that's going to be released. You're going to see a lot of that this summer. A sequel to Locust Lake in Space is coming out very soon. The Chronicles of Shiloh just started running yesterday, and that's a 4-part miniseries. So you got 3 more parts of that coming, and you have another 1 or 2 brand new Locust Lake stories coming this summer as well as at least 1 sequel to Obituary, Locust Lake Killer story from last year. So a lot of good Locust Lake shit happening, and I hope you're excited as I am, because I'm very excited for another summer of Locust Lake. Love you all. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a fantastic day. Have a great Sunday. Hope it's chill for you. Be safe. Stay creepy. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.